Hi, and welcome to this Fornav coffee break. My name is René Brummel. I'm a product specialist at Fornav, and I will be your presenter today. As this coffee break is live, you can ask your questions via the GoToWebinar question window. We will answer them at the end of the coffee break. Today, we're going to add aging buckets to our Business Central reports. There are three standard Fornav reports that use aging buckets: the customer statement, the aged accounts receivable, and the aged accounts payable. By default, these reports use 5 aging buckets. You can set up the aging bucket. You can set up the aging period in days, weeks, or months, or anything else. To set up more than or less than these 5 standard aging buckets, you need to tell the underlying Fornav code how many buckets you want, and you can do this with the report extension. To demonstrate adding aging buckets, I'm going to use these steps: the prerequisites, what do I need to get going? In step 2, I will demonstrate the existing aging buckets. In step 3, I will write a report extension to add an aging bucket. In step 4, I will add the aging bucket to my report. Let's start with the first step. Today, I will work in the Business Central on-premise database with the Business Central 2023 Wave 2 release. I've installed the Universal Code version of the Fornav customizable report pack, and I've executed the step-by-step wizard from the assisted setup to get started. To add aging buckets, you need at least version 7.1 of the report pack. I've installed the Fornav Designer, which can be downloaded from the Fornav website. I have also installed Visual Studio Code with the AL language extension. The first thing we will look at is how the aging buckets work. We will use the statement and play with the aging settings. So let's go to Business Central and see if I can find my statement, which lives in the finance reports. And the same thing happens for, like I said, age account receivable and age accounts payable. It's just that the statement is a bit easier to change and move stuff around. So on the statement, I've got the aging band, include aging band, yes or no. And we have the period length, and you can set the date by which the aging is calculated, which is at the moment the due date, which I'm happy with. Period length by default is 1 month. And if I preview this report, we will get an overdue per period on our statement. And we get an overdue per currency, which is default in the statement. And you can see how much is overdue per period. So we've got periods of months. So from the 24th of the 12th, 24 to January, a month before, and everything before that. These captions are calculated automatically. So if you want to change the aging periods, you don't need to redo anything. You can just say, I want my aging in periods of 2 weeks, for instance. Hit preview, and Fornav will automatically recalculate the periods, and it will recalculate the amounts. So you have the amounts in the short periods. If we look at this report in the Fornav Designer, you will find that in the aging is calculated in the aging buffer, which is a temporary table which Fornav uses to calculate the aging. And there we use aging buffer caption 2, amount 2, 3, 4, and 5. We don't use the amount and caption of the aging 1 because that is everything that is due right now. So that's not in the statement. If you look at the aging buffer inside the Fornav dataset, you will find that we have amount 1 all the way up to amount, let's see, 31. So the maximum number of periods I can have on my report is 31. Now that's going to be a bit too much for this statement report because it's on A4, but it would be nice to add a new statement for a 6th period right here. So let's go and do that. When we want to add an aging bucket or remove one, we need to tell Fornav how many aging buckets we need. We can hard code this in the report, or we can use the request page to set the number of aging buckets. And we'll use the latter option for this demo. Now, obviously, we don't want to clone the entire report because cloning the entire report means we need to maintain the entire report. and maintaining the statement is a bit of a job. I know because I do the maintenance for the statement report for FORNAV. So what we do is we create a report extension. On this report extension, we create a request page option, which we add to the aging band portion of the request page. And in there, we add the field args.column count, and we give that the caption column count. And that will allow us to tell FORNAV how many columns we want. Now, this args data item is a special data item we put in the statement and a number of other financial reports. And in this case, it refers to the FORNAV statement arguments table. That's just a single table at the top of our report. And if I look at this table, you will find that this table has options for start date, ending date, document date. So we use this arguments table for all of the request page options, including, let me see if I can find it, the column count. You will see that the column count has a minimum value of 1 and a maximum value of 31 because you cannot have more than 31 columns in the standard FORNAV aging. So that's my statement report extension. I'm going to publish that to Business Central, which means that in my FORNAV standard reports, scroll down to my statement and run the statement. You will see that I now have a column count option. And if I set this column count to 3, for instance, we will find that FORNAV calculates only three aging periods. Like I said, aging 1 is not displayed by default. So it's got 2 aging periods, 24, 12, 24 until 23, 1, 25, and everything before that. If I add more aging buckets, so I wanted to add 6, so I'm going to say 6 and hit preview. You will find that FORNAV calculates all 6 of the aging buckets, but it doesn't display them. So I'm missing one here. So obviously I'm going to need to add the aging column, which is the final bit of this coffee break. To add the aging column, we go to the FORNAV Designer where we have all the aging stuff. And let's insert a column to the right. And of course, we need to make some space right here. There we go. Now all we need to do right here is add caption 6, amount 6, and amount 6 again. So I am going to grab my amount 6 right here, and I will grab the amount 6 right there. And I will grab the caption 6 right there. And let's make this yellow and preview the report. Of course, we need to sign in again. So the column count is going to be 6 right here, preview. And we will find we have a 6th column where the caption is calculated properly and we have an amount. Now the thing right here is that it says before and then it says a backslash 24924. That's because this caption is created to be a multi-line caption and I haven't set my column to multi-line yet. And of course I need to change my alignment. So let's go back to FORNAV and set the alignment left and right again and set my column to multi-line. That's right there. The total, by the way, is calculated automatically, but we should check if the total is added to the amount fields. Let's add this one here as well. Add amount 6, and I do that so FORNAV will calculate the total automatically. And preview again. 6 columns. And there we have the 6th column. You will notice that the forward slash inside the caption has now been used to tell FORNAV that we wanted the date on a new line. So let's recap what we just did. First, we looked at the existing aging and how we can influence what we can see on the printed document. To add an aging bucket, we had to add some AL code to determine how many aging buckets we get. After we did that, we could add an extra aging column in our 4nav layout. We're going to add the column count as a default request page option in 4nav 7.3, so it's not there yet, but it is going to be. As usual, you can find the AL code for today's coffee break on GitHub. Thanks for listening to me so far. I can see we don't have any questions, so I'm going to wrap up this coffee break. If you want to know more about 4nav, or if you want to download the 4nav Designer and Converter, please visit our website. If you want to install 4nav in Business Central Cloud, please visit the Microsoft App Stores. You can watch more videos about 4nav on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions about 4nav, please email them to support@4nav.com. For a full list of upcoming and recorded coffee breaks, please visit 4nav.com/coffeebreak. Thank you very much for listening to me today, and goodbye.